You can overvalue the shit out of it, put a brand premium on it, whatever, which Donald Trump could have done. The problem in this instance was that Donald Trump took properties that he knew had restrictions on it. He took Mar-a-Lago and represented it as being subdividable land and not having the tax restriction that it has on it, which makes it a historical landmark and makes it so you can't change anything about that property without the county's consent. That's what he did. That's fraud.
Hello.
How you doing?
What's going on? What's your take?
Good, and you?
Well, I want to put some evidence out there, and I want to see what you would say to it. So,
Okay.
you know that there's good and evil on this planet, right? I mean, you're pretty much convinced of that. Is that a fair statement?
Sure.
Yeah. So, do you, at some point, are you going to recognize that death, perversion of the sexes, wars, injections, untested, when is it going to be enough for you? Like
it'll be enough for me when you check into some sort of institution.
Well, I'm MIT business owner, 26 employees, so I don't need any institution.
You want to debate the background, please?
Do.
What I'm asking you is very simple. So
You want to debate the background?
yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying is that now you've weaponized the entire government, which is the first time in where you're going to try to put the political opponent in jail.
No, he did that to himself. Nope, he did that to himself.
But
he did that to himself.
That's what the communists would do. So now you're setting a precedent.
What?
I remember you. You were on the live that I was at last night. First of all, you don't know what communism is.
Whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
Communism is.
What I'm saying is, I had a question to the host.
It's not communism.
Not to you even. You're not even involved. And so what I'm saying is, what do you say to this?
Did Donald Trump not shout and run off of, quote, lock her up?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Is that weaponization?
No, that is rhetoric that should not be uttered. That's
not weaponization of the government?
No, it's not weaponization. That's rhetoric that is reckless, is what that is.
Oh, it's reckless rhetoric. Gotcha.
No, I'm not thinking
So let me ask you a question. Do you know what's going on with any of these court cases? Because for all you know, there's overwhelming, for what I know, there's overwhelming evidence to convict him on these. Just the evidence is public. And you're telling me that somehow there's not.
Well, not only, actually, no, what I'm saying is that you can't, if a real estate developer inflates his assets, like all real estate developers. That
has nothing to do with the criminal charges against him. That was a civil case that he lost because he committed persistent fraud.
Well, he didn't lose it because he's going to do it to all these things are going to appeal.
Sure, but
you know it.
Then why hasn't he put up the money yet? He has 30 days. He's running out of time on the E. Jean Carroll case. Why has he not put up the money?
Yeah,
by the way, he lost that appeal.
Those are going to go to appeal, and when they go to
he lost the appeal.
They're going to go to the Supreme Court.
No, they're not.
That's it.
That's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
Yeah, it is.
They don't preside over matters of law. No, they don't.
The appellate court's going to make a decision, and then it's going to go to the Supreme Court.
So he already lost to E. Jean Carroll in New York and paid. He lost the appeals. They're not going to hear this case. This is a state matter.
They are going to hear the case, and also.
Okay, I'm sure. Wait. So did you guys not say that the Supreme Court would hand Donald Trump the win in 2020? What happened to that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sure. Remember that? They're going to take it to the Supreme Court with. That's what you guys always say. No,
I actually don't know what you're speaking about.
I'm sure. No, you guys easily forget. Yeah.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not even a Trump supporter. I know it sounds like I am. But
so why don't you look at the actual evidence then? Like, why are we talking about? You're talking about. Oh, it's so wrong. It's so. Talk about the evidence.
I think it's ridiculous what you're doing, but that's okay. Give me some I'm asking you really.
Shouldn't you know that? But shouldn't you know that if you're going to have a discussion and make the claim that these charges are completely bogus? Shouldn't you know what the accusations are? What at least some of the evidence is?
I just know that you've weaponized. Okay, yes. The answer is yes.
That's great. Okay. Can you name one of them?
Then how can you tell me that they're weaponizing it if you don't know what the charges are? Donald Trump, listen. In the civil case that you mentioned, Donald Trump committed persistent fraud for 50 years. 1 second. He inflated his assets to the degree that it overvalued them by up to 30 times. He inflated his assets by $2.5 billion. So
you're saying Mar-a-Lago's worth 17 million when the property next to it is
he is claiming that it's worth he is claiming it's worth $18 million. That's Donald Trump is claiming.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what Donald Trump, it's actually 27.5 because of the tax assessment has gone up. He is claiming that's what it's worth for tax purposes. Okay. And then he's turning around and representing it as being worth $700 million, as not having any of the tax restrictions on it that he advocated for. That's fraud. When we're talking about, and he did that with all of his properties. He said that the property in Manhattan, the penthouse was 30,000 square feet, which contributed to that property's value going up by tens of millions of dollars when it was only 10,000 square feet.
They're not in jail.
What?
That's what real estate developers do all over the country, and they're not in jail.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
These are civil cases too.
Listen, no, they don't. No, they don't.
They really
real estate. Listen. Real estate investors, 100%, will take their property and give it the best valuation possible, and that there's nothing wrong with. You can overvalue the shit out of it, put a brand premium on it, whatever, which Donald Trump could have done. The problem in this instance was that Donald Trump took properties that he knew had restrictions on it. He took apartment complexes he owned and showed them as having no rent control on them, which they were rent-controlled apartments. He took Mar-a-Lago and represented it as being subdividable land and not having the tax restriction that it has on it, which makes it a historical landmark and makes it so you can't change anything about that property without the county's consent. That's what he did. That's fraud. Hey guys, if you are enjoying the show, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And if you want to support the channel, you guys can become a YouTube member on this channel, or preferably join the Patreon in the link tree in the bio. Also in the link tree is my TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and the OK Hi YouTube, which I post news to on a regular basis. Enjoy the rest of the show. Real estate developers aren't going to represent their property as having some different status or some different thing than he did. And this is why Donald Trump was able to build his empire. He would take a property that he knew he couldn't represent. He knew that there was some sort of restriction on it. He would take those properties and then he would re-represent them as not having those restrictions. So he could get this property really cheap and then leverage it for a lot of money. That's fraud.
Right, and I'm with you. And so I actually have to look into that data, and I actually will. That's the thing. I'm not just a guy that's going to support Trump blindly. I actually don't support Trump, but I actually will look into that data because it's obviously worthy, especially since you have the background there. But what I'm saying to you is that what you've done is you've created a precedent to go after political opponents, and the idea now is to weaponize the DOJ. Yes, what do you mean? It's weaponize the DOJ, weaponize the FBI, and if you don't do that, you're going to be a weak president. And if you do, and you go after and you lock up your political opponent, which Trump never did, then it's going to create.
Nobody is going after Donald Trump for unjust reasons, and that's what you're not
getting. We should have gone after Bush. We should have gone after Obama.
Okay, for creating wars. Listen. None of them committed crime. Listen, none of them committed crime. You can say that those are internationally illegal. Sure. Should they be tried under the Hague? Sure. Whatever. I don't give a shit. But you cannot say that they committed crimes here in the United States, because those crimes that they committed were in actions of their duty, which they have executive immunity from. Donald Trump did things that are not. They're actually antithetical to holding his office and his oath of office, like trying to overthrow the United States government, like trying to overthrow multiple different elections.
Okay, that actually overthrow the United States government. He had 4 years to do that, and he never did. He never even made moves to do that. So the fact
he ran for re-election once.
I don't know. Oh yeah, because he wasn't doing it for 4 years. Did you know that like Jeffrey Dahmer had like 15 years before he unalived someone? So really, we can't convict him on the other ones.
What are you talking? He had 4 years. You guys said he was Hitler. He was going to lock everyone up. He was going to overthrow. He was going to stop the democracy.
Just because he didn't do something for
just admit what I'm saying. Just
because he didn't do something for 4 years doesn't mean he didn't do it for the 3 months. You see how that works?
I don't.
It doesn't make it not a crime. But can you name any one of the indictments?
Like any crime.
Like how up to date are you with the cases? before
But
dismissing
with
it outright as
with
some kind of
respect,
coup,
with
as some
respect,
kind of
4
cabal.
years we drew down all the
Can you
wars.
just name?
We
Stop.
drew
Can
down
you
all the
just
wars.
name? Stop. Can you just name one of
No,
the
you
indictments?
shut up for a second. I'm talking with the
No,
host.
no,
You
no,
take that.
I
no.
don't
Hey,
want to hear,
That's fine. Kick me.
dude.
Go ahead.
I don't
I'm
want to
out.
hear about. I don't want to hear about you talking about wars.
What?
Can you just tell us a single charge?
What do you mean on this? That's what I'm saying. I'll do the.
yes.
91 charges. Can you name one of them?
Yeah, 91. There you go. No, I can't. And you know what? I'll do the research. Fair enough.
Why didn't you do that before?
No, because I know it's so erroneous and it's so absolutely.
How would you know? You haven't
He
read.
didn't even know Jean Carroll. He didn't even know her.
Yes,
That's
he
why.
did. There's
You
photographic
weaponize
evidence
the
of them
government.
together.
Because you're weak and you weaponize the government is what you did. And it's all obvious.
I
and
didn't do anything, and that was a state case. That's not the DOJ or the FBI.
Yeah.
Same goes with the Georgia case. Same goes with the New York case.
One person. And that'd be nice if you would just you would just let us talk.
So
That'd be
you
nice.
you are talking, but you don't know what any of the charges are, because the charges that you've talked about are state cases that have nothing to do with the Biden administration. Listen, man, this guy is guilty as hell. He is the most guilty person I think I've ever seen. And you just saying, well, they're going after him because he's running for president. No, they're going after the guy because he committed 91 felonies, at least. And these aren't even the states that are done with them. There's other states that are investigating. This guy tried to forge documents and pass off a fake slate of electors to overthrow the United States government and instill himself as president. That's what he did. He forged documents. He talked about this in public. Those are crimes. Those are crimes. And you want this guy to be president?
He forged documents to create fake electors. Is that you're sure? You're sure about that? Because I'll do the research.
Yes.
He forged documents. Yes.
And his own lawyers, now testifying against him, admitted to having done that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the research behind that. I'll come back with some solid evidence on everything, including the 91 charges. Yeah,
why don't you go ahead and read the Georgia indictment?
I'll
just
read
that one. Okay, please read them all.
Yeah.
Start with the Georgia one.
And you're going to still claim that weaponizing the government, it's okay to go after your political opponents.
Just go read what they have against him, man.
Give me a second to finish. And just like communists do, you're going to allow
communism.
It is. You're an authoritarian.
Define communism.
You run an authoritarian regime, and it's very obvious. You're interested in autocracy.
Can you stop
and communism
crying?
are not synonymous.
I'm not crying. I'm telling you exactly what's going on.
Can you tell me what communism is? Or do you not know what that is either, and you need to go do your research?
Let's go after Hillary.
Just
they found nothing wrong. They found that she did nothing wrong.
250 bodies, my man.
What?
250 bodies, yeah. But that are attached to Clinton that have disappeared or have.
He thinks that they've unalived these people. Do you know what a spurious correlation is?
Do you know how many Seth Rich cases we're looking at? Do you know how many type of suicides we're looking at?
Do you know what a spurious correlation is?
Where's the host?
I'm right
here.
Talking
to me.
It's do you know how many people know about? I mean, just look at a Twitter feed. Look at a YouTube feed of Hillary Clinton.
Not fact.
The entire country.
It says tinfoil hat.
It's not tinfoil hat.
Link in bio.
What a spurious correlation is.
He is the most corrupt politician we've ever seen and had in our country. And Americans know it on both sides. And I'm not even a Trump supporter. So what I'm saying to you is maybe don't
talking, please.
One side, right or wrong.
What is the crime against Hillary Clinton?
What is the crime? You know what? That's okay. That's another. I just gave you bodies upon.
Oh my fucking God. How is that linked to Hillary Clinton?
Dead
Where's the nexus? Give
murder.
me the link. Do you know what a nexus is?
The link of Seth Rich.
Establish that Hillary Clinton is behind that.
You want the link of Seth Rich? I literally have. I had 10 bodies that were. I just looked at. Seth Rich is one of.
I can look at 10 bodies. You have to link that.
I'm going to call it there. Tony Polisi here, going to go ahead and exercise one of the kicks. I got one discretionary kick available still. He was losing it. I think you should go read some stuff. You didn't know what communism was. Didn't know any of the charges. That's a problem, Tony Polisi here. Thanks for the meatball sub. Appreciate it. The tinfoil hat link in the bio thing was nice.